Yo, what's going on, guys? This is a video from a comp game that I played the other day, and I felt like there was actually a lot to learn here. So the plan of the video here, I'm pretty much just going to play back my game, but I'm going to voice over what actually happened throughout the game, and I'm going to tell you guys what I was thinking, what I am doing, or what I should be doing. If you like this content, make sure to like and subscribe. If it's helpful to you guys, I'm going to make more, so please let me know down below. And you can also check me out on Twitch, link down in the description. So what we're going to find out pretty much instantly is that the other team does have a Widowmaker. You need to make it your goal to pretty much never peek, ever. Honestly, you should have this thought process pretty much anytime you're on Mercy, not even when there's just a Widowmaker. Make it a challenge to always try to take as little damage as possible, preferably none at all. A good way to do this is by using objects as cover.
Let's go.
Coming up here, I want to stress how important it is to be at your max beam distance. This is important because it keeps us further out of the play. We don't want to be in this play. We don't want anybody to see that we're even here, to be honest with you. So if you are going to play up and enable a tank, always make sure you're doing it as far back as you possibly can be. Unfortunately, our Ana was just a little overextended right here. I don't think there's really much we can do to save her. But just remember, if you commit a GA like that and you see them die, always make sure you GA backwards just to get yourself back into a safer position. So we make the decision here to actually move up and start playing with our Sigma for one reason. We get an early pick, so that means the enemy team's going to pretty much kite back and play the next corner, and our DPS were too far back from the play to actually do any damage. So all we're trying to do is stay aggressive, keep ourselves in the play, and provide damage boost for anybody that is able to use it. You never know when that extra bit of damage is going to be the difference from actually killing something or them actually living. Here's another good example here. We just capped the point. There might be a little bit of downtime because we just got some late picks, but you want to move up with whoever is ready to move up on your team just for extra pick potential and to have the other team stagger. Again, ideally you want it to be DPS, but if your DPS aren't doing this, just damage boost literally anybody who can possibly do damage. We actually make a pretty bad mistake here, and it's very important that we all learn from it. We end up getting way too distracted by our Sigma ulting, and we kind of tunnel vision and just stare at him the entire time he's using his ult, and somebody ends up dying because of it. It is so important as Mercy to just always be aware of your surroundings. So say you're healing a target or damage boosting a target, it doesn't necessarily mean that you actually have to look at them. Always be paying attention to other things, like allies on your team who need healing, for example. Just pay attention to how much we stress actually keeping your max beam distance throughout this fight. Line of sighting the enemy team and pocketing your soldier is going to be the best way to ensure you guys win this fight, because we were already up 1, so we might as well just be even more aggressive and try to clean up this fight quickly. Even though in this instance he ends up living, just understand that sometimes you just cannot help people. If you GA into the middle of a fight, there's a high chance you're probably just gonna die. Lastly here, just make sure you're actually damage boosting the person that's going to clean up these fights the quickest. Another prime example of keeping max beam distance and using LOS at the same time. You're probably going to get sick of me mentioning that over and over and over again, but trust me, it's just that important. Another example here that is probably not worth attempting to save somebody. Our diva flies in, grabs high ground. I don't have line of sight to her, so I can't really fly to her. There's just really not much I can do in this situation. So in my opinion here, we'd rather just damage boost soldier while he's nano-visoring. And then if that diva did hypothetically die in that situation, we always have res ready for it if it's possible. So this is the first risky-ish res you're going to see. But since we're in Valk, the res is actually okay because we get the increased mobility and we get the quicker health regeneration as well. It's really important that you guys get these kills very quickly here, so again, you want to put a lot of your focus into damage boosting the target that is capable of killing people the quickest. This entire sequence here is going to be a great example of never tunnel visioning. You always have to be aware of your surroundings and supporting people as best as you possibly can. But unfortunately, this is just kind of a weird spot because we have to be on the payload because it's overtime, or I'd focus on healing Ana a little more here. But if I just let the D.Va D-Mech, we're just going to lose anyways, so it's just a rock and a hard place situation, unfortunately. So on defense, the same things pretty much apply. We want to be damage boosting long range DPS ideally. And to me, the spot I'm at right now is kind of my favorite because that way if the team does get a couple picks or something and they engage, you always have an easy spot to back up to and play your life a little better. And again, pay attention to the safe gameplay. Although we can't really see what's going on, again, as Mercy, you never really have to. As long as you're staying alive and damage boosting and playing your life, that's all you can ask for. Our team kind of feeds here a little bit. Our tank ends up dying, and generally in Overwatch 2, once your only tank dies, the other team is most likely going to start running it down. So when that happens, you pretty much want to start cutting back even harder than you normally would as Mercy. Another good example here, if your DPS aren't there yet, always damage boost the person that is there and can actually get value from it. I know our Sig's ulting here, and he does get a kill, and I know most people kind of want to get out there and get things popping, but again, as Mercy, always just play safe, be patient, and don't risk it and walk out there and possibly get one shot or something like that. Again, damage boost early and damage boost often. Anybody that's in position to do it, always hit him with that blue beam. Before we end up going for this res, what did I tell you guys earlier in the video? Always make sure that your team is sustained as possible. These are judgment calls you guys have to get better at making. Look at the kill feed. Our entire team is pretty much dead. We cannot save this Sigma. You're better off just playing your life and hoping someone can maybe touch last second and you can actually be there for it. Unfortunately, in this game, we're not able to, but there's going to be plenty of games where it's totally possible. Again, damage boost early, damage boost often.
Big.
And I'll mention it again. Line of sight. This is kind of just a minor mistake here. I invest my GA, which is fine, but instead of just canceling it and landing in LOS, I kind of slingshot right in front of Sigma's face. It's just kind of a little hiccup, but just remember, you can always cancel GA. You never always have to end it with a slingshot.
I'm gonna take damage for a second. Hold up.
Damage boost early, damage boost often. You'll never know unless you go back and watch the replay, but you have no idea whether these damage boosts are actually securing these kills or not. But I'd bet you'd be really surprised how many kills you're making the difference in. Okay, so obviously here's some game sense feedback. Your team just got absolutely smoked by Sojourn from her ult. It's just another one of those situations. Can we actually save this Sigma or anybody, for example? And in this situation, the answer is absolutely not. Again, I'm kind of mentioning multiple things over and over again, but I'm just trying to explain to you guys how important these things actually are to be a good Mercy player. Be a damage boost Mercy. Damage boost early, damage boost often. In my opinion, I think we absolutely have to Valk to save our Sigma here. He's LOSing our other healer, and the payload is so close to being capped. If he dies here, I highly doubt I'm going to be able to res him, and there's going to be a high chance we also lose that fight and lose the game. And again, we're just setting up early here. We want to try to get early damage in and possibly get some picks as they're walking in to try to take their next fight. As they progress in, you always want to start moving backwards and just keep your distance. And again, if you're going to try to move to somebody to lock your beam onto them and you feel like it's in a dangerous spot, you can invest a GA, but once it locks, always just make sure you slingshot backwards just to reposition yourself into a better area. And I'll be honest here, this res was kind of risky. I didn't think the Sigma was going to make it up there that quick, but at least we got the res off, I suppose. But still a bad play.
I see low. Nice rock.
When you hear Sojourn ult, literally never peek. It is not worth it, no matter what. Even when we go in with an aggressive GA to try and support somebody, look at how we end it. It always ends by breaking off safely.
At least he was. Never mind.
Yeah, he's burning today.
And now for everybody's favorite line. Let's damage boost early and often. Let's try to get these kills. Watch that trap. Don't you do it. And this is exactly why you do that. You have to pay attention though. They did res this, so it's not an uneven fight. This is a 5v5 fight still. So what do? We peel back and get our distance again. You want to see now why I've been stressing over and over again why it's so important to keep LOS? There is literally no reason I should be alive right here. This was literally a half-second mistake, and I almost died because of it. That is why I'm stressing it to you guys so much.
I have Bob here. I have Bob.
He's alone, he's alone, he's alone.
Mercy one. Nice kill.
This is honestly a pretty crucial mistake. At the very least, the ball used mines.
Ball.
But for whatever reason in my head, I was like, oh, he ulted. I need to keep somebody alive. And this is pretty terrible, so don't do that. But look exactly what we go right back to. We are setting up and positioning early to hopefully get a pick before this last fight starts.
What the fuck?
Don't go on top.
This
Don't
next
go on
tip
top.
is actually going to be very important against Junkrat players. When they use Rip Tire, break your beam and hide. If you die, there is obviously no res. If your teammate dies, there's a good chance you can just bring them back to life. So don't let Junkrat know where you're at.
Nice.
Good stuff.
Let's go. Good shit, guys.
Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. Again, just let me know if this is actually helpful for you guys, because if it is, I'd be more than happy to do more of them. Make sure to like and subscribe, and you can check me out on Twitch, link down in the description below. And if you haven't, you should check out my Mercy video. It'll help you guys a ton if you're new to Mercy and you're looking for some macro advice. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time, see you later.